matter how far away you park, this whole parking lot is always going to be that one asshole that has to park beside you. Nobody told me about the struggles with these white wheels, man. Mind you, this car's a little dirty. Been sitting in the driveway. Been driving the V8 minivan. Oh, in case you didn't know, it's not V8 anymore. We took that swap out. I.e., I put a muffler back on it. It's just a little too ridiculous. Alrighty, let's get ourselves situated here. Dope little Subaru parked next to me over there. Just stopped off at Princess Auto here. Tried to get a set of shears. They have a set that are like pneumatic that hook up to the air compressor. I don't know, I'm gonna give them a shot. I had to get a rain check, but then I saw there's another set that goes on sale next week, so I'm gonna give them both a shot, see if either of those are gonna help me with the diffuser making, since I have been making a couple diffusers. A couple of you guys inquired about those. If you are in the GTA right now, I'm not really shipping too much. I don't know, I looked into shipping and it's just too much, especially for the States, which is where like a majority of you guys want me to ship to. So yeah, if you're in the GTA, hit me up. But today's video, man, I'm just gonna go over a topic that comes up on the channel quite often, and that's rear-wheel drive versus all-wheel drive and which one is better. Now obviously, you know, there's pros and cons to both of them. Me personally, my G35 sedan here is a rear-wheel drive. Now for 03 to 06, which is the first generation G35, you can only get an all-wheel drive, I believe, from 05 to 06 and in a sedan. So that's really the generation that this blog pertains to. Since, you know, once you get beyond that in the second gen and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure there was a coupe they offered in all-wheel drive. Anyways, we're gonna get into a couple of the bullet points basically as to all-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive. Now obviously rear-wheel drive is much easier to drift. Now a lot of guys that have G35s, they buy them for, you know, so they can drift them, right? And that was one of the big selling points as to why I got this car, as opposed to getting another Altima, which would have been quite a bit cheaper and much easier to find than this G35, which took me quite a while to find. Now obviously all-wheel drive is definitely gonna have better grip in rain and snow, and even on like those hard launches, you're gonna find that all-wheel drive is definitely gonna get out of the hole quite a bit better, especially in snow. Like for me, I had winter tires on my rear-wheel drive, and there wasn't really too many times where I didn't want to drive the car because there was too much snow. But if it was an all-wheel drive with snow tires, you would definitely, you know, you wouldn't even worry about the snow. It wouldn't even be a question. You just get out there and drive it as if, you know, it was any other day. Obviously braking is going to be slightly affected, but you're going to have better acceleration and better grip in snowy and rainy conditions. Now I did mention already that the all-wheel drive only comes from 05 to 06, and I believe you can only get it, guy doing, man? I believe you can only get it with an automatic transmission. Now, like I said, years beyond that, 07 and up, I think there was a coupe that was offered with all-wheel drive and manual. But for this generation, if you want an all-wheel drive, you can't get a manual transmission, and that's a lot of things that quite a few people, I don't think, realize. We're gonna stop for this light, I guess. We still could have went. Guess you could say I'm getting a little soft in my old age. So that's one thing to consider if you're looking into getting an all-wheel drive, that if you want manual, you better consider rear-wheel drive. Now another thing to consider that I actually didn't even know about until a buddy of mine, you know, told me about it with the all-wheel drive sedans, you can't actually run a staggered setup. Now for me, that doesn't really matter because I actually have a square setup right now. Actually, we're gonna do a highway merge here real quick. Put the window down. This third gear pull, so and we are up to highway speeds. We'll do that window back up. Now I'm running a square setup, 225 45s all the way around. But a lot of the G35s, and I know the 350Zs, if you get a set of 350Z wheels, they're going to come stock with a staggered set. Now, when I got these 350Z wheels that I originally had on my Altima, they were a 245/45 on the back and a 225/45 on the front. And if you have a G35 with an all-wheel drive, you have to have a square setup. You can't run a staggered offset on your front or back wheels because it messes with the transmission and the differentials, and over time will wreck the transmission and or differentials, you know, and it's just putting unnecessary wear and tear because the fronts will be spinning at a more or less rotation than the backs, and you know, it's just, it doesn't work with the way that Nissan has this all-wheel drive system set up. So definitely keep that in mind if you want to run Stance Nation, or like, you know, a wide offset in the back, skinny offset in the front. All-wheel drive is definitely a no-go. So aside from the customization aspect of it, the all-wheel drive are typically more expensive to fix, and it's just because of the way that they're engineering. Now, the lower control arms for this car, which I'm actually getting replaced, or I'm gonna replace them myself pretty soon, they were like 60 bucks a piece, right? Whereas the all-wheel drive versions, they're a different, you know, they're just molded differently and stuff like that. They're actually quite a bit more expensive, closer to 150. Other than that, suspension, lowering suspension, and springs, apparently they're more expensive. You can't use a rear-wheel drive coilover or spring setup with the all-wheel drive sedan. So, you know, companies know that, and they re-engineer their suspension in order to work with the all-wheel drives, thus costing you more money. So generally, just parts like that, I've found are more expensive, just from word of mouth of people and their general experience that they've relayed to me through being a G35 sedan owner. Also, another thing that you need to keep in mind is you have an extra set of axles at the front. So with a front wheel drive car, you have one set of axles. With a rear wheel drive car, you have one set of axles. All-wheel drive, you have both sets of axles, and you know, if one or the other fails, or even both at the same time, that's going to be double the money to fix. Now, I do know with the all-wheel drives, the front axles are prone to fail. The boots tear and leak a little bit, and that's not, you know, that's something that I haven't had to deal with on this car so far. Thankfully, I don't have any wood on here to knock on. Well, not knock on plastic. Thankfully, so far. So if I had to put it in a nutshell, rear-wheel drive is definitely more budget-friendly, as far as, you know, if you don't have, you know, an extra budget to be repairing your vehicle. However, the benefits to all-wheel drive, despite the fact that they're more expensive to fix and there's more parts that can go wrong on it, if you live in a snowy area where you have a lot of, you know, there's lots of snow and ice, road conditions are, you know, not like this where I'm driving on a nice open clear highway. There's no mud, there's no dirt, anything like that. If you need the traction and the peace of mind to know that you can get the kids to school any weather, no matter what. Like for me, my work's not that far from here right now. I'll probably be moving in the next month or so, where, you know, it's going to be a little bit more north. I'll probably have to get a second vehicle for when it really snows bad. I can park this one. But last winter, I didn't have any problems. I'm in the heart of Toronto, however, so it doesn't really get too much snow, and when it does, the plows are usually out pretty quickly. So that's the benefit that I would see for the all-wheel drive. If you guys live in an area very snowy, rough conditions and stuff like that. Otherwise, if you want to drift, man, look into that rear-wheel drive. You want that manual transmission, which I have right here. Look into the rear-wheel drive. And that's pretty much about it, man. So I'm not too sure how long this video is going. I'm probably going to get back to the house. The V8 minivan has a gas leak. So I'm going to have to go and fix that at some point today. Probably wash this car because it's a little dirty. Hopefully these streaks here aren't showing up on the camera. But yeah, I figured I'd just make a little vlog, since the last vlog that I did does a G35 need premium gas. I was wearing the little head cam with the hat on it and stuff like that, the camera on the hat. So I figured I'd do another vlog of that style if you guys enjoy this this view and everything, as opposed to just looking at my face. You know, I'd have the camera here just looking at me the whole time. You guys get to actually experience what it's like to drive this thing. And we did a little pull there, nothing too crazy. Traffic sucks. So yeah, as always, if you guys enjoyed this one, don't forget to smash that like button. If you guys want to see more, don't forget to click subscribe. That'll be somewhere, I don't know. If you're on mobile, it'll probably be underneath. And as always, man, I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Oh, careful there, Matrix. And we're going to catch y'all mofos at the next one, man.